There are many people who I'd like to interview, sit down and talk to them, and then put it up on my webpage. I went to Myanmar, which used to be called Burma, 6 months ago, to interview Min Aung Hlaing and Aung San Suu Kyi. Even before I left the United States, I got through to Min Aung Hlaing and we set up an interview. Even when I was in Myanmar, I still worked at trying to get a hold of Aung San Suu Kyi. Was unable to though, but I'm still working at it. I'd love to interview President Obama. I'd love to interview Clarence Page, who writes editorial on the editorial page of the Chicago Tribune. I'd like to interview Elizabeth Warren, who's a senator from Massachusetts, and interestingly is almost an exact parallel politically to Barack Obama, and she may run in 2016, just like he did in 2008. And for the nomination, Obama ran against Hillary Clinton, and Elizabeth Warren is going to run against Hillary Clinton also 8 years later. That would be a fascinating interview. Stephen Hawking is another person I'd like to interview. And as you're listening to this video, you might ask, probably are asking the question, why does Campbell want to interview all these people? And I'm reminded of something that Einstein said. Because it's something like, the more I learn, the more I realize how much I don't know. And Einstein was correct. When you sit down and talk to somebody and you think you know all about them or a great deal about them, and then you kind of start asking questions and they start answering, and all of a sudden you realize that you're getting information that isn't normally known. I mean, you don't know this, but Stephen Hawking and I were born almost exactly on the same day in January, except for the fact that he was born a year earlier. So he is almost an exact copy or duplicate of me. We're in the same generation almost to the day, and plus a year. Interesting, he and Einstein and I also had some issues while we were in school, grade-wise. But on kind of the darker side of knowing something about Hawking is that he, in his early 20s, was diagnosed with ALS, which we call here in the United States Lou Gehrig's disease. And the problem with Lou Gehrig's disease, other than the disease, is that once you get diagnosed with it, your lifespan is about a half a dozen years. And then the disease gets you and you die, generally. Stephen Hawking's got the bad news 50 years ago in his early 20s. And for the last half century, he has fought ALS while he's doing science. Other than being a genius, he's a person with guts. And I'd like to talk to him. I'd like to have him say to me, this is why, this is why, this is why. In several months from now, Hawking lives in Great Britain or in the UK. In a couple months from now, 2 months from now, Scotland will be voting for Scottish independence. I'd love to sit down either before the vote or after the vote and talk to Hawking about how he felt about Scottish independence, which has nothing to do with science, but I'd like to understand what he thinks, why he thinks, and how he pulls all these things together. I hope you enjoy this article, and if you can get a hold of Aung San Suu Kyi or Hawking, let me know. Thank you very much. You take care.